All right, episode 28 of the Real Sports Brothers is here tonight. We're running it back again with You Still Can't Buy Me Love by covering the NFC's free agency or carryover from me and Myrick. We're holding it down one on one. That sounds crazy, but I'm going to stick with it. We will get into the KU debacle against St. John and Rick Pitino. This time it was more than 15 hot seconds. Everybody about 15 years ago should know what that reference to in the restaurant. And covering the Royals. We're excited. We're still be royal. Nobody's wearing royal stuff. It doesn't matter. But we're still proud to be royal. I think that was the phrase back when we were winning. So we got everybody's mainstay favorite antagonist in the house, Mr. Bell in there. How you feeling?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Ready to
And
get
AKA Monty Man, bringing back the young young nicknames. Every now and then we gonna call you something that you was called when you was wearing Pampers. And for everybody else who doesn't know, Book is in the house. Book, shout out, happy birthday to Book.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. So, jumping right into the NFC side of free agency, we're going to start with Myrick. We had the Cowboys who re-signed Javante Williams. They re-signed Pickens. Everybody, at least on here, loves a little Hennessy. Rashawn Gary, I don't know how that's a good pick. He was picked up in a trade actually for what, a fourth and something else. I almost messed up my camera. And I don't really find anything else of any importance but their kicker. So, who are you excited about with the Cowboys, or does that have you salivating about what they could do until it gets to the big games again for Cowboy Nation?
I will say things I did like keeping Pickens on the tag. I think he would have made somewhere what in the 40 mil
Which
per
is
year
crazy.
in this
We
free
got to
agency
talk about
market.
that too.
Instead they get another shot at like keeping the pass and centralized on CD Lamb, Dak Prescott, and Pickens. So if Pickens doesn't blow his head and well, pause. If Pickens doesn't
Wow.
his ego doesn't get in the way. Wow. If his ego doesn't get in the way, then I think that returning to that pass uh that wide receiver combo with Dak returning is fine with me. That's the thing I love. Things I didn't love was um they didn't I don't think they let Quay Walker and N'Kobe Dean. I don't think they got either one of them.
Yeah.
They were
No.
talking to him, they didn't get him. I think they needed him, and I think they ended up with the Raiders. But so I think they should have went after them a little bit harder because they really did need it on that side of the ball.
True. True.
But
Linebackers.
that's all. All in all, I give them a B plus
So you
so
expect
far.
them once again to sound like they're going to be good, probably fall on the face, or do you think they can at least see some NFC Championship action?
Um, let me get back with you on
All
that.
right, all right,
Let
all
me
right.
see the rest of the moves, and then I'll let me see the drafts.
All right.
Yep.
Monty, moving over to the Giants, you get speedster Calvin Austin. You get Darnell Mooney to translate to Robinson. That might not work out. It's hard to replace a Robinson. Special teamer Gunnar Oshevsky. I really, I don't want to beat a dead horse, so pains no opinion. Man, I signing Isaiah Likely with money, knowing that the dude's got what, 10 games in him? I just don't understand some of these picks when you talk about a dude's potential when you can never see the potential. But anyway, short up their offensive line, bringing in four offensive linemen, including, well, they resigned all of them, including turnstile Evan Neal, who still has not lived up. And one thing that I know you'll like is they stole the linebacker you wanted from us in Tremaine Edwards and veteran Micah McFadden. So with the Giants officially underway with everybody who wears the chain. Everybody's thugged out, non-thug white boy quarterback. What's his name again? It's not
Jackson
coming to
Dart.
me. Jackson Dart. You
Yeah.
excited about the weapons and offensive line they brought Jackson Dart, and if he can stay healthy and not try to run too much and not get down, you think they're going to look like a little something?
I am excited to see the Giants. They're bringing in Harbaugh just to kind of instill that culture into them, and
Oh wow! I'll let that go.
Jackson Dart, Cam Scattaboo, those were kind of some of the most exciting players when they were both on the field together, just because they brought so much energy and swagger to that team that really hasn't had it in a while. So I they did. Harbaugh brought in some guys that he's comfortable with, hence the likely signing. He doesn't have a Mark Andrews there in front of him anymore, so maybe we'll get to see him a little bit more. But I mean, I'm not expecting him to do anything crazy. I'm just Harbaugh's comfortable with them, so he likes him, brought him in. But I do like the Giants. I like the Harbaugh signing. I like Jackson Dart, Cam Gadaboo. Hopefully he can come back looking like himself after that kind of. That's a very scary injury, very serious injury. So we'll come back looking like himself. But I like the Giants.
Okay. And I already got to retake it because once again, I'm that guy. I immediately went over there because I was like, what are you talking about? The dude has never played less than 14 games. So it turns out it was a mix between sometime he's banged up and obviously Mark Andrews because he pretty much gets about 50 to 60 targets a year. So we will hold that scathing take that almost made me fall on the face a little bit.
Don't
Rolling
forget,
back over to
well,
Mr. Bell.
don't but don't
Huh?
don't forget they got Matt Nagy and they
Mm,
picked up Matt Nagy also. So and
Mhm.
they really don't have any receivers that block, which was our problem over here on our side with the Chiefs.
mm.
So
Uh, I feel like that's what Isaiah Hodgins is. I think if I remember correctly, he's kind of a bigger guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, I think he stands around 6'4". I think he's a bigger guy.
Yeah, he's a
hopefully,
bigger
I mean,
guy.
hopefully they shore that up because that was our problem, and
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
they don't run into
And they
that problem.
still, that's one of the reasons also last week, I forgot the tight end that I said because they were all massive guys that they had, but it was one of the guys they have run. They actually have a big tight end core. So I think with Hodgkins and because they are mostly a two on third down they go to three receiver sets, but they kind of traditional. So I with Hodgkins and stuff like that, I. But that's a good call. That is a good call. I'm more afraid of Nagy than actually the talent. I think if anything, they'd probably just still be young on offense, but I think they're a happy mix. I think they'll be scrappy.
Yeah, and people forget how good Tyrone Tracy was at the end of not last
Yeah,
year.
yeah, I forgot about you. Right, I did.
Hmm.
I'm one that forgot about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a burner. Yeah, so
yeah.
they because he's kind of that deal that I look at with how it seems with Likely. It seems like he's banged up a little bit because once again you follow some guys. Hey, he was on my fantasy team, so I got to follow. It's like hey, he never really matched up.
Mhm.
All right, Myrick, going back down to the Eagles, short time, he didn't see the field. Damian Pierce, remember, the Chiefs picked him up. We wanted to see what he could do. Um, not excuse me, Hollywood went over there. Elijah Moore, who personally was one of my guys who I wanted to see break out when he was with the Browns, and it just never really happened. They've got a million tight ends, and Caltera, Goddard, Muntz, and Smart goes to what you were just talking about with the blocking. And Big Jordan Davis got the cash. And they brought in linebacker, and the biggest pick was probably Tariq Woolen. He was a nice corner they brought over from Seattle, proving that if you win a championship, sometimes people want to take what you got. So, do you think that it's more about as some shows have said, the funk or the weird vibes going over there with the receiving core and everybody not being happy with um, the quarterback just being a winner? Do you feel like some of these pieces are going to put them back to get them back in the Super Bowl?
Um, I think it's something going on with that that receiving core. Um, they picked up Hollywood,
Receiver?
right?
Yes.
Yeah, they picked up Hollywood. I'm not excited about that, but what we need to watch is the AJ Brown situation, of course. And with that, when I mean watch it, if they what they're gonna do, if I think they're trying to get a first round pick for him, and I think they should get a first round pick for him
Mhm.
to try and bring in some kind of fresh talent and see. And I'm not saying it's all him in the locker room or whatever, but Jalen to me took a step back this year. The offense took a step back. I won't say Jalen took the offense took a step back, and we'll see. They did lose their offensive coordinator, so what was that a part of it? So the changes they made weren't bad, but I just need to see what they're going to do with AJ Brown in that first round pick
I have
in
a
order to make
question for both of y'all then. You kind of, threw me at it when you mentioned the receiver. To me, Hollywood 5'10", Elijah Moore about 5'10", Devontae might as well be 5'10", because I mean I still don't think he weighs 180 pounds. I think losing AJ Brown turns them into what we were worried about with the Chiefs. You become a very small team with a quarterback who is scared of one-on-one unless you're just wide a open. I think that
Mhm.
hurt. I think that cripples their offense for what their problem was with Hurts, unless Amani seemed he was a little more key on the offense coordinator part of it. Do you think, like, I feel like Hurts is a scary type of winner. I feel like he'd more likely make the safest play or run than throw, and you got to do it in your pocket. I just think he hates those passes. So what do you think? Like if they traded AJ, I think keeping AJ. It's damned if you do. I say this, yes, unless Jalen Hurts turns into Matt Stafford or somebody or Burrow or Mahomes. All these quarterbacks who are willing to what they say risk it or biscuit. You know he's going to be unhappy if they come out and do that. Their receiving core would be awesome. But I don't think that that's Jalen Hurts. I don't. I failed to see him wake up one day and say, "Hey, I want to throw for 350 yards and we win the game."
So you're putting you're putting it more this next season more on him versus
Yeah,
the
especially if
receivers.
AJ loses, I'm going to say they might not make the playoffs unless they replace him with a like Cy had with us. If they don't have a big receiver, I think they better unless the running game looks crazy. I don't think he'll be a prolific passer with
That's what I
Mitchell.
was going to say. I was going to say, well, they still have the running game, so
Yeah,
maybe if he old boy wakes back up, Saquon wakes back up, and they can concentrate more on that, then I think it'll shield Jalen from this season from
yeah,
being, what you're saying.
yeah.
Also, I forgot that I didn't like that they traded away Reed Blankenship with no plan to replace him, and they traded away the backup, Sidney Brown.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
they don't have anybody back there, and that hurts them. I think that really hurts them a lot too.
okay, all
Mhm.
right. All right, so moving over to the Commandos. Rashad White they brought in, Jerome Ford, so they have backs aplenty. Never was dynamic, Diami Brown. Traylon Burks underachieved, finally works his way over here. Always fourth receiver Van Jefferson. Chigo on fast, doesn't really make plays. Aquanco at tight end. Uh, Tunsil was brought in. I don't know if he's long in the tooth. Bunch of ex-chief linemen, underachieving Kayvon Chasen, who did have a better year last year. I think he had about seven some sacks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He finally showed something. Hugh, I don't think will get his legs back. So they made a lot. I don't want to end up going over all that. They made a variety of moves at a bunch of different spots, and they're a middling team who is already kind of right there in the playoffs if their quarterback can stay healthy. Actually, I didn't see any receivers. none that mattered anyway. What do you think about that? Back on you, Amani, right? Do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
think that's enough to at least now get them as a first round scary team?
I'm still interested to see what they do at the receiver position because we all know the whole Brandon Ayuk situation. We don't know what's going on with that. I don't think anybody knows, and the organization or the players know what's going on with that situation.
Oh,
So,
are you wanting to trade for IU? Is that what you're doing?
oh no,
Oh,
absolutely
you threw
not.
me off. I was like, okay. I was about to make a sizzling sound. Go ahead.
No, I'm just talking about the wide receiver situation. So they got Terry McLaurin, and then other than that, they got Luke McCaffrey. What'd you say, Van Jefferson?
And they've
So
already put Traylon. When you said that, I brought it up. Their unofficial depth chart. Yeah, they put Traylon Burks as their third receiver.
yeah, Traylon Burks. So I'm interested to see what they do to fill that Debo role, or unless they think Traylon Burks, because that's who he was supposed to be coming out, was the next Debo,
Mm-hmm.
and Luke McCaffrey. I mean, maybe they think that McCaffrey name's holding something to it. He's not a bad receiver, but he's not a game changer by any means.
Agreed.
Uh, Back, like you said, they signed a guy, one of the Chiefs, to bring in Rashad White. He was a guy from the KC area. I wanted to bring him in,
Mhm.
but so I like that. You forgot to mention they signed a linebacker to replace Bobby Wagner and Leo Chenal. So I also wanted the Chiefs to bring back Leo. He was kind of one of the guys I liked coming out of the draft. I remember we had a show and I talked a little bit about him. I like him and his versatility. Um, but other than that, they kind of fall now in the draft in that sweet spot range of Jeremiah Love. And I'm starting to see him go there a little bit
I
more.
saw that
So,
too. Some of the mocks.
so
Mhm.
and I like they shored up that linebacker spot because Bobby Wagner was just a liability in coverage out there sometimes.
A lot, and my infamous one was I love that Atlanta game when he had the angle for a half a second on the running back.
Uh-huh.
But real quick, I want to challenge that Leo Chenal take because actually when I got down there, they had it was one of those teams where I had so many key names that I just said they got. So he was one of the guys I was like, I I don't know that I trust Leo Chenal, not just mentally. That's a duh statement for a guy like you, but I never felt like Leo Chenal made himself a worthy player for us. It almost was like what I look for as Willie Gay. Every time I wanted Willie Gay to really be the guy he wasn't, but it was like you said that tweens my take is I if he was on the field, a flare pass never worked for yards with the running back. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
he can only do one thing really good, but dang, he does it really good.
Mhm.
Leo Chenal doesn't have that for me. Every now and then he would stand out as that blow the running back up in the backfield. But maybe with Karlaftis that ruined some of that pass rush that they kept talking about because all he got to do was the middle rush. But
Mm-hmm.
I never some of the pass rush skills, some of the other stuff. Leo Chenal never really did anything. He was always just kind of like a 30 tackle, 3 tackle, 4 loss guy with a half a sack, and I'm like, that ain't nothing. So I don't feel like so. Yes, in the sense of can he be a volume tackler from them? Sure. Is he going to be the type of guy that Bobby Wagner was just 2 years ago? Because obviously Bobby was too slow to be anything more than instinctive. But
Mhm.
I don't think Leo Chenal this year will end up with 3 sacks, 4 picks. I don't think that's going to happen. I think at best you get 100 plus tackles, you get 2 sacks, and you get a couple forced fumbles. That's the best. But he's not going to be a factor linebacker for me.
I don't think I don't think they're bringing him in to be that kind of that factor linebacker. I think he's just an upgrade of what they have in terms of Bobby Wagner because he did flash a little bit. I mean, if you look up Leo Chenal, the first thing you're going to see is that one-handed pick he had falling down guarding Mark Andrews.
That was
So I
awesome.
think he shows some flashes that he's starting to develop a little bit. And the deal they brought him in, I'm looking here, says 3 year, 24 million. So they're not
Yeah.
investing too much capital in him to be that flash linebacker. Now, if he does and he does develop and show some of the flashes that he did, that's automatically a win for them.
Mhm.
So I like Leo because I've always liked him since the Chiefs picked him up in the draft. I thought he could be better than what he was.
Yes,
So he's kind of one of those players that I like and I want to see him do well. And
I'm
I
cool with
think
that.
with expanded role with Washington, I think we might be able to see a little bit more what he can do.
I can deal with that.
But yeah, like I said, with how much I like Jeremiah Love with him being mocked there, I think if they're able to pick him up and see what they do at the receiver position, depending on who's there, because they're picking early in the first round. I think they still have their second round pick, so there might be some guys there that they're interested in looking at in the early in the second round. So I like them. I think if Daniels is able to stay healthy, I think we can see them back trying to make a push for the playoffs late in the season.
Cool. All right, Mark, moving over to the NFC North. The Bears, to me, on paper, aside from addressing their offensive line with a center, a guard, and ex stud Jedrick Willis and Braxton Jones. Khalif Raymond is more special teams to me and a speed third/fourth receiver. Contavious Streets, I want to say he's from the Niners. I think he's more of a bigger guy. Neville Gallimore, to me, never really developed from what I thought he'd be. Uh, Devin Bush he got money. He's small, but got some speed on him. And they signed some other linebackers, DeMarco Jackson, and they addressed the secondary and Jalen Jones and Cam Lewis. Neither one of them are stud players. They're mostly rotational. But Kobe Bryant did get 3 years, 40 mil at the safety spot to keep developing. And I think he came over from Seattle as well, right? So
Yeah.
do you think the Bears, who found themselves in a winning state, can get a little more steady play from your boy Mr. Nails, and they addressed enough on the offensive line and defense to be even more of a threat? Or do you think they'll face a better schedule and end up just being more about 500?
I think they're gonna end up above 500. I think Mr. Nails is gonna remain that cardiac kid for now. At least for the first half of the season. The Kobe Bryant signing, I did like that because if let me see, let me hold on, give me 30 seconds here.
What are you
Bringing
checking
up
for?
stats
Mhm.
on the defensive backfield. Okay, I got it. Here it comes. They lost Nashawn Wright. Um, he had 1,177 snaps. Kevin Baird, 1,000. He played 1,220. They lost a grip of dudes
Yeah,
that played a lot back on the
yeah.
defensive side of the ball.
And Byard was
So
making plays.
yeah, and these guys were playmakers, and they
Yeah.
kept them in there. So I think it's more on the. I love them signing Kobe Bryant, so that can help, but they still lost the grip. Right? They gotta try to at least replace one or two of those guys that they lost because they played a ton of snaps and they were out there and they were productive.
Well, that
So
works to your take about them being the cardiac team again. They're going to need Caleb to be out there gunslinging.
Yeah, and that's why I was getting at. I was gonna say. I was like, that's why I think they're still gonna be. He's gonna be the
Gotcha.
cardiac kid, and he's gonna be at the end of those games. They're gonna always be in the game, but it's just gonna come down to that one or two plays if Caleb can get him over that hump. And I think some games he will, and some games he won't. Just like I think it's gonna be more the same last year, but a little bit more improved. But I think we're gonna see the same type of style of play from him.
Cool. All right. So, Mark, moving over to the Lions. Is their window shut, or will Isaiah Pacheco's $1.8 million contract, super slot / special team Greg Dortch over from the Cards, McConkin? They did bring in some offensive line help. DJ Wadham from the Panthers, and Rodriguez signed, the Wild Man. He resigned. And they had some secondary. They brought Roger McCurry over from the Titans, and Rocky Sin got re-signed. So sounds like to me, aside from fixing up their offensive line, they kind of stayed pat. So are the Lions still just NFC championship threats, or do you think they finally are ready to really bite some kneecaps and do something?
You said
Um,
you
I
mean
thought,
me or
isn't it back
yeah.
on you,
I
man?
just went. Yeah, it's on
Yeah, it's
money.
back on you, Monty.
okay? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about the Lions. I feel like that kind of bite kneecap days. I feel like that might be a little bit in the past. I don't. I think I'm expecting to see an explosive year out of running back. His name just blanked my mind.
Gibbs.
Gibbs,
Gibbs.
Gibbs. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got him
Uh,
for the league minimum, by the way, the
hmm
veteran minimum.
Oh, what?
So
Yeah, near the
No,
vet minimum.
no. That's not what we talk. You're talking about Pacheco.
No, he's talking about Gibbs.
How's he playing for a minimum? He's on his rookie
I thought
contract.
I thought he was signed for the. They got. I thought they got him for the veteran
He's still on
minimum.
his rookie contract.
yeah, he's so
Okay, so
yeah.
did Pacheco got it?
No, Pacheco got 1.8 mil, which is nothing. He's backup. Yeah, he's talking about Jameer Gibbs. Remember, was handicapped
Yeah.
with Montgomery for the last 2 years.
Yeah. So Montgomery's gone.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay, and
yeah.
then they
Pacheco, and
replaced.
the reason why you get Pacheco 2 million is like, hey, you're a breather back. He ain't.
Yeah.
He ain't getting Montgomery's touches.
Okay, well, I got to take after Monty goes on that then.
Oh, okay. I want to hear
I'm excited to hear it too. But
it.
but yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Lions because they lost Carlton Davis, who's a veteran DB, Kevin Zeitler, he was O line. They didn't lose too much, but they also didn't bring in anything that where you look at it, it's like this is going to be a real difference maker here. So I
I'm
I
seeing
really
one starter out of those. Excuse me, two starters out of that free agency. DJ Wanham, they have him plugged, and McCreary as a nickelback. That's it.
mhm.
Everybody else is backup.
Yeah, and if it wasn't a Jameer Gibbs highlight, I I can't speak too much of what the Lions really needed this past season. So other than Gibbs having a big season, and we'll see what golf's going to be working with. Um, I just don't know. I don't feel like that fire's still there. That fire that was originally there from the Lions is still there. Um, other than Gibbs providing what they got on offense and Sam Laporta, he's a big time tight end. So
Well,
other than those,
real quick, and Mark, tell me if you agree. I got a bone to pick with you, Amani. Amon St. Brown's not a stud, do you?
he is. I
And
I
Jameson Williams is at least a flyer. Like I said, now he hasn't. Jameson Williams hasn't achieved his potential, but he's
Mhm.
pretty much 1,000 yard receiver at 60 catches. Sam Laporta, was coming off an injury. I think he's more healthy. Tesla at least was making big time red zone catches. I,
yeah
I
I
and I think Greg Dortch. I think remember most years he ended up being the Cardinals' best receiver. Now he's not a playmaker at all. He is a try hard guy who gives you 40 catches for 380 yards and 2 touchdowns. But what I'm saying is, I think that offense can be at least where it still is. I feel like I can. I think health. I can plug the Lions right back in the AFC Championship game.
I just don't see it. I don't know. I
I'm
don't
with
know.
Monty on
why.
this one.
All right.
I don't. I don't feel that same fire from the Lions that I used to, where they're on. I'm excited to watch them. I don't know if it's I hear all what you're saying about those guys. They're great players. St. Brown, Williams with the speed, Gibbs. Their offense is exciting, but there's something about it that I don't really like. It might be golf. I don't know. I've never really been the biggest golf fan. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just don't know if he's at that level anymore where he can bring them to that spot. And if we're gonna be honest, I like the Bears more in that same division. I'm excited to see what the Vikings can do with Kyler in the same division. So I just think there's more excitement for me on other teams in the same division as them. That's why I don't know.
All right. And Mark, what's this Isaiah Pacheco take that you're dying to
I
spit up?
just you get this guy, you get a guy essentially to relieve Jameer Gibbs
Mhm.
and pass protect because you want to. He comes out of the back, he catches. He's not that guy that's gonna. He's not that back. He's not gonna be 100% of what David Montgomery was. So I think it was just a waste. I think it was just a bad pick. I won't say
No,
wasted.
no.
I think it was a bad pickup on their part. I think they have more needs than they have money to throw at right now, and I just don't see like where they're going with that. That was all I wanted to say on that.
Well then, hey, I think both me and you thought he was about to be Jeff and thinking that Pacheco should. Yeah, hey, Stamp. I agree 100% with what your take is. You got to do who can't. Montgomery is just a bigger guy, but he could do everything that Gibbs could do.
Yep,
Pacheco can't.
can't
You ain't
right.
gonna want to throw in balls, swinging out the sidelines for him, bumbling to run hard. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna want him trying to do it. Cut. The hole ain't there. The play is done. So yeah. All right. Moving down, the Packers did not do much. Sky Moore kept his career as a kick returner in the Niners. He comes over to Green Bay. They did re-sign an offensive lineman. Javon Hargrave comes over on a 2-year deal. He is a nice pass rushing inside lineman. Zaire Franklin, who is a nice linebacker, and then Benjamin St. Juste comes over from the Commanders, I think. So Green Bay is pretty much going to be the same team as far as on paper, even though they got rid of Mr. Crossover, Rashawn Gary, and seven his 7 sacks that he got all in the first like 8-9 games, and then the rest of the season he was crossing over, not getting no sacks, no sacks. With crossover at the line, stealing from your boy with the Browns. I couldn't believe he was like, how do you like real quick? I don't want to get side note because I wasn't seeing a bunch of other defensive linemen doing the Myles Garrett crossover. I
Mm-mm.
saw Myles Garrett doing it first. I saw Rajon Gary, who always has been a dude who you wanted to break out, but I think he's more Tom Bahali, if not worse now. He was
Mhm.
dying to do it. The first 7 games, I said, first 7, 8 games, he was getting a sack a game. They got Micah Parsons. And you're like, this is going to be awesome. And he proceeded to do zero, except for really come out a lot on third downs and still do the crossover move. And I'm just like, why wouldn't you stop after 3 games of getting snuffed out? Don't you look crazy?
Mhm.
I digress. Back to your Packers take.
um uh they didn't really do much, like you said. So there's nothing really that sticks out to me that I love.
What
Hargrave,
about,
like
yeah, okay, yeah. What about Hargrave? I think,
yeah, Hargrave. That's what I said. Hargrave, that's good. That's solid. Um, but I did like is I don't know if they have abandoned hope on defense, but if y'all don't know, they lost Kobe Wooden, Rashawn Gary, Kingsley Ngabari, Quay Walker, and Nate Hobbs. That's a lot of snaps.
yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know where they're trying to do with that, but
Well,
they
I will say
I don't know if they're
this.
going to draft development or I don't know.
Their team on paper is like, who? Because it's like, all right, left it unofficial. You got Carl Brooks, who, then Devontae Wyatt. Okay, I remember, Georgia product, Jamar Hargrave. He's nice. Brenton Cox Jr. Oh, Edgerrin Cooper. I don't know. Sire Franklin, competitive starter with the Colts. Keyshawn Nixon, who? Evan Williams, who? Xavier McKinney, nice safety with the Giants. You know what I'm saying? Not a great runner, but a nice competitive safety. Carrington Valentine, he didn't really pan out. And then you got super safety move around nickel Javon Bullard. So it's like I agree with what you're at. Oh, well, excuse me, I skipped over Micah Parsons if he's healthy. It's like what yeah, I agree with you. It's like, and I didn't see enough from Jordan Love that I just want to say, oh, now
That's
we're just
what I
going
was
to
what I
turn
was going to
into.
say. I didn't want to say it,
Go
but I
ahead,
was like,
finish your deal.
Yeah, like I didn't want to say like, do we really trust that Jordan Love's gonna produce enough on the offensive side to make up for the deficiencies on that possible deficiencies on the defensive side? I just don't see. Not last year, I didn't see it.
Green Bay out of the playoffs on 3.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Monty?
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right.
yeah.
You
Yep.
heard it here first. The Real Sports Brothers have the Packers out of the playoffs. All right, Monty, I gotta hear this because you said it. So right away, start off. You're excited about the Vikings getting Kyler coming in there to to completely sit JJ down and his game time antics when he turns into whoever he turns in to go out there sucking. Aaron Jones got revised, so you keep your age back. Eric Wilson is a nice linebacker, and I'm not seeing much else that matters. So, what do you think the Vikings are looking like under Kyler?
I'm just excited to see what they can do with a quarterback that is competent at the NFL level. I really don't think they like JJ McCarthy at all. Um, I heard reports come out that their coach, what's his name? I can see his face. I can't think of his name. But coach had to shorten up his playbook because JJ McCarthy couldn't. He just couldn't figure it out. So I think when you have a team like that with the weapons of Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and T.J. Hawkinson and aged Aaron Jones, I think there's potential with that offense, and adding someone who I still think has potential in Kyler Murray. I don't think he's someone who we don't know what he is. We know what he is and we know what he can be. So I think he still has that in him he can play to the potential of the player we know he can be. And you give him those weapons and that offense and that ability to run around, and he's gonna have options once he runs around. He's gonna have someone to dump it to. So I'm excited to see what that offense can look like. I would like to see them add something a little bit in the run game because like Aaron Jones he's up there. He's got a lot of mileage, and that running back, that's not a position you want to have a lot of mileage at unless you're Derrick Henry. So I really like what they can do on offense and defensively. I mean, Gennard being there, he's a good pass rusher. Um, I can't speak too much about the rest of the defense, but I know they
Thank
have.
you. Thank you. Man, dude, you just texted me. That's
Who?
crazy. Yeah,
Me?
somebody on your phone just texted me. No, Monty.
Me?
Yeah, I'm getting
Oh,
late text. Yeah, I just got a text from Monty.
Yeah, but
Anyway, your phone's haunted. Check this out real quick, though. As you said, I'm glad you covered. See, hey, Mark, I hope you're getting you know what I'm saying. You getting all up with these consistent takes. That's good stuff. Because I was waiting. I'm sitting here waiting the whole time. Like, if this dude don't go to that depth chart, you know what I'm saying? That defense is yuck and poo.
mm-hmm.
Like you
Because
said, I see Grenard, I see Van Ginkel, so I do see a chance for some sort of a pass rush. You know what I'm saying? Blake Cashman always gets hurt, but he can run.
mm-hmm.
But look at that secondary, man.
Yeah. Plus,
Metellus never could run. Byron Murphy can't stay healthy. Isaiah Rogers is, you know what I'm saying? I think he's a little skinny.
mm-hmm. Plus losing Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave on the inside. So I'm more excited about that offense. I think if Kyler Murray plays at the level we know he can, and we'll see if they add anything in the running game, I think that's one of those offenses that can keep you in a game. As long as you have a pass rush that you can get after the quarterback and you don't ask the corners what we did last year to cover everybody with no pass rush, I think you'll be able to win some games like that. And in a tough division, like we said, with the Bears and the Lions and everything like that, I think it'll be a fun team to watch, especially with what we can see Kyler can do, and maybe they can open the offense back up which they weren't able to do with JJ McCarthy, especially bringing in Carson Wentz. That's someone who's been in the system, so he might come in and be the backup, and they completely just give up on JJ. So
All right. Cool. So, Myrick, you got a tough one here. They got you a trapdoor with the Falcons. The Falcons actually went all in. There was a lot of various moves they made, from quarterback to stacking the running back room up with Brian Robinson and Tyler Goodson, both players who can contribute. Johan Dotson come over, who's still underachieving from the Eagles. Zacchaeus can play a little bit. Austin Hooper's getting long in the tooth, but Kyle Pitts is still there. They brought a couple pass rushers in, revised that defensive front with Deshaun Hand. Chris Harris is a nice linebacker. Christian Harris is a nice little linebacker. And then they brought in safety Sidney Brown. So they have a lot of interesting things that still lead to one thing. It's going to depend on that quarterback. What do you think the Falcons are going to look like this year? Are they still going to be in the top 10 picks?
Oh, it's the quarterback play. What quarterback play we're going to get out of Tua
And who?
and the running joke was he got off the plane with his helmet on backwards. So it's I know a lot of Falcon fans personally were not happy about that picking him up. They still have. Okay. If we look at with that offensive line they have, you've got Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan. So I'm anxious to see them
And
again. I
Zacchaeus
think,
isn't bad.
and Zacchaeus isn't bad. Zacchaeus isn't bad. I think with that they'll be 500. Be 500. I think they'll be a 500 team. Like I said, if the quarterback play and who it is and who it's going to be and how long are we going to whatever this project is with Tua is going to go on. I believe they signed him for the league minimum. But he's still getting paid anyway from
Dolphins.
from Miami. So 500. But I'm excited about the offensive line and the offense because they showed up towards the end of the season. I'll say that.
Now, if
Go
if
ahead.
you remember the beginning of the season, they had good defense. As you know, they have a super criminal on their team. So with him taking a chance of maybe being in Yale, that's going to step that defense down because he actually was a playmaker.
Now, I went to see him in person, and I'm gonna tell you what, in person, the defense was poo poo. I saw it. I was like, they out here getting burned.
But you were near the end of the season.
And, it wasn't. It wasn't near the end of the season.
I thought you were near the end of the season.
Was it? It was November. No, was it January? It was. You're right. You're right. It was the end of the season, near the end of the season.
Yes, but you're still fine with it. Yeah, yeah, that's why I said the first 10 games they had like top 5 defense.
They were keeping them in it.
Yeah.
They were. You're right. They were keeping them in it. But then I saw and I was like, oh man, this is bad. This is really bad.
Gotcha.
So, like you said, if you can keep old boy out of Yale.
All right. The Panthers, AJ Dillon, cancer survivor John Michie, everybody's favorite hands receiver David Moore, ex-quarterback Felipe Franks. Once again, I see a lot of names. I don't see a lot of actual talent. Jalen Phillips, obviously, who I think they gave. I think that's going to be an absolute kick in the shorts for them. Because it's something about Jalen. I don't think he's going to guarantee to get you 10 sacks. I just don't. I don't know that
I didn't like that deal.
I don't think he's there yet. They did get Devin Lloyd. Isaiah Simmons is only a name as far as a name, but he's more of a special teams and filling guy. He's not the first round draft pick. What do you think they got going on? The Panthers is little big head quarterback Bryce going to be able to keep them around the playoffs, or a nice schedule is going to get them top 10?
I like the Panthers with what they showed at the end of the season. That defense looked nice at the end of the season. J.C. Horn, you had
They do have good secondary.
Derek Brown, and I like Bryce Young. He's I feel like he's one of those quarterbacks that you just want to like him and you kind of want him to be good. Shorter guy, everything you see about him, he's just a nice guy. And he goes out there and he's been successful at other levels, and I'm just waiting to see what we saw in college translate to the NFL, and you saw flashes of it.
Good take. You did.
I think with the receivers that they got, I think he needs a little bit of help there. But I do like the Panthers with that defense. We saw what Seahawks did with a good defense. Now they had Kenneth Walker and they had JSN, and Sam Darnold looked like a great quarterback. So I'm sorry, I don't know what that was,
The
but
police.
but yeah, I I'm I kind of like it. So I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. That threw me off, but.
No, it's a happy birthday.
Now we know. It's the birthday crew.
But I
Byron.
like.
Byron, moving over to the Saints. Same thing. I see Travis Etienne. I see Noah Fant. See a couple offensive linemen, and I see Caden Ellis. Aside from that, once again, not a lot of moves over there. So, do you think? What did you think at the end of the year? Their quarterback rolled out there, and I believe he won. I don't want to. I think he won about four or something out of his last seven. I thought that Show ended up with a winning record as a starter. Tyler Show. He's got
Yeah.
Chris Olave, ATN, Juwan Johnson, and some defense, including Kool Aid. So you think the Saints are going to be scrappy, or they ain't there yet?
Not there yet.
Okay.
Mainly because they got ETN, but ETN isn't enough of a playmaker to be a dominant 3-down back
Agree.
to me. Um, uh, he's got he's well rounded, but just like not enough of a playmaker to be a solid 3-down back. Um, on the defensive side, they got Ellis. He's a good blitzer. I'm trying to find something. Uh, uh, yeah, I don't. They didn't do enough. I haven't done enough to me to make any impact to change their situation that they're in. Tyler, but you did mention Tyler Show. He did end up with a winning record for the games that he played, and they're just gonna have to go from there. But they don't have a lot of cap. I'm looking at that, so I did. There's nothing they're gonna have to get it out of the mud from the draft, and
There we go.
they so yeah, nah.
All right. The Bucks, once again, same thing. Monty. They didn't bring much. Kenneth Gainwell proved that he can actually play as a rotational back up there in the Steelers last year. Kate Otten got resigned real money. He already can play. Muhammad they brought over, and Alshon Robinson, so you know he's a stud. But and then of course Mr. Love some injury, Alex Anzalone. What are you looking at, or what you expecting from the Bucks? Is Baker gonna keep it going, or what's popping?
We're really gonna see. Bucky Irving's gonna have to come back with a big season. He doesn't have his running man or Rashad White, so he's gonna have to be able to stay healthy and stay on the field. They have receivers Ibuka, and they got
McMillan.
older. Yeah,
Godwin.
God,
Got
God.
him.
Yeah, so those are two receivers, but you're losing a franchise legend in Mike Evans, so that's always going to hurt. You could always count on him for 1,000 yards. Um, so that's gone. And then one of the captain of their defense just retired, Levante David. So you're gonna have to find a way to replace that. He was, I think, right before he retired, tied the franchise record for tackles. So that's someone that's the captain of your defense. That's not easily replaceable, especially a player like him. He was there 14 years, his whole career. So he might not be a premier position like edge rusher or corner, but he was someone that makes sure everybody's in the right spot. So you miss something like that, you lose two franchise legends on both sides of the ball with Levante David and Mike Evans. So I think
Heart and
if
soul.
they if they
Mhm.
if they do something, I don't think it's going to be at the same level that they were previously. I think it's a little bit more last season where you expect them to be good, but you're just a little bit disappointed. So I think the Bucks took a step back, strictly just losing some. So like you said, heart and soul on both sides of the ball.
Gotcha. All right, guys, we're going to speed up this last little bit. If you have real takes about the team, go ahead and give them. If not, we won't really push it. The Cards brought in Minshew to compete with Jacoby Brissett. Tyler Algier is nice. Kendrick Bourne is a legitimate possession starter. They did fill out, like I said, they got some third and fourth type receivers. They did bring in offensive line by numbers. Same thing. They brought in four different defensive linemen. Nobody got big money, so obviously those aren't names. I mean, I know most of the names, but they're not big time players. So, do you feel like the Cardinals did anything of note, or they're still in a lot of flux?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm
All
not too excited.
No.
right. The Rams are who the Rams are. Obviously, their biggest pick was taking our corners, Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. They also, man, that secondary is nice. They also re-signed Cameron Curl. So on offense, they really didn't do much. Ronnie Rivers is the career backup special teamers. Tyler Higbee is Tyler Higbee, and David Quisenberry is not ex Royals pitchers Dan Quisenberry's people. What do you think about the Rams? Are the Rams still going to be competing for a Super Bowl, guys?
Yeah, I personally think the Rams are. I think a
Right
lot
back.
of people they're coming into the season as Super Bowl favorites. Especially they got that pick at what I believe 13 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of people mock Sadiq there, so they get someone the tight end from
Tight end,
Oregon.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm seeing them mock him there, and people are like, "Oh, he's not a tight end," but like you said, they got Higbee, so they can have Puka on that side, Devontae Adams play him nice in the slot, have Higbee there. So those are all four bigger guys who can block. So that opens up the run game there too. And we know Sadiq, bigger body. You're gonna guard him with a linebacker. They're too slow. Safety, they're too small. So,
Rich got
and
richer, huh?
Yep.
and what I've heard, a lot of people ask Dan Lanning about Sadiq, and the first thing he says is turn on the blocking tape. So he's someone that you might not think as a tight end, but if you watch the tape at Oregon, their head coach saying go and watch the run block tape, and he's explosive and blocking in the run game. So he might not be your prototypical tight end, but
I was
he
gonna
don't
say not a
block.
prototype, but he is.
So he does what's asked of him. So like you said, Rich got richer. They stole the entire DB corp of the Chiefs. So I think they're a team to watch out for.
Mark, you agree?
Yep. Definitely, definitely. I see another Super Bowl run, a good Super Bowl run from them. If they don't, that I think as an
Pound fail.
organization, that's a disappointment if they don't get in there. So
Niners did their volume thing. Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, three offensive linemen, um, one defensive lineman of note, Azigua from the Cowboys, Drake Greenlaw, Nate Hobbs, kicker and punter. Uh, Niners going to be another playoff team again.
If if health's on their side, then I don't see why not. They're always a team where they got the face value, they got the name value.
Coaching.
They, Evans, so Christian McCaffrey stays healthy. Kittle can bounce back. They bring back Greenlaw, who was kind of a he wasn't the heart and soul of defense, but he brought the energy to that
Close,
defense.
yeah.
So and Fred Warner come back healthy. You still got Brock Purdy, so I don't see why not. They shouldn't be back.
Niners is a squad that to me they lose a ton of guys for whatever reason every year due to injuries and such. But when we always hear next man up, next man up, next man up. It's truly every year they prove next man up. Before the Lions flashed it a little bit, but
Good,
Niners
good
with what
take.
they've been facing this last 3 or 4 seasons, next man up. So they're always gonna be with as long as the this core of coaches and these this type of mentality stays with around in that organization, they're always going to be in there. To me, I just feel like
No,
you
good
can't
call.
count them out. Yeah.
Cool.
So
And then on to the We Are the Champions Seattle Seahawks. Myra rode with them for quite a while near the end of the season. He paid out, so you will start with your assessment first. But they replaced Kenneth Walker with some backup with Emmanuel Wilson to come help out Charbonnet. Uh, Bobo comes in. Rashid, he is out there. And Jigba broke the bank. I want to go back to that. Josh Jobe, we're not going to tear up these names. So they added five peoples to their secondary, three corners, two safeties. Nobody got big deal except for Joshua, uh, Joe. Man, I'm
yeah,
really actually good with phonics. So I think they'll call him Jobe. Anyway,
okay.
uh moving up to Jigba. 45 million. I think it was about 44, 45 million a year. I think once again the NFL was starting to fix their problem. You started with the quarterbacks. They started saying, "Hey, if you're a middling quarterback or barely a starter, you might not even get $10 million." But yes, he was the NFC Player of the Year. You know, he was on the way to blowing up all type of records. They move him all over the place, with helps his versatility. But if it always was figured out that if you pay your quarterback too much, you handicap your team, what is it going to do when you do it to your receiver? And quickly, the ones who are saying, "Oh, duh, you don't pay attention to Darnold's contract." That's fine. Do you think
Hmm.
Darnold can get them to the Super Bowl one more year and have decent numbers, and he's not going to have rightfully be able to say, "Go pay me"? And unless somehow you draft somebody who's going to be waiting in the wings, that you can say, "Ha ha, we're waiting for you to do that. We'll let him sit behind you, learn how to play Crypt Keeper, and then do it." Once again, I can cover all these takes. I think that was you had to resign him. I understand, but unless I'm looking at the second receiver's pay being 40 million, that I don't know it is, you're tripping. You don't have to outpay the next guy by possibly 8 million. Monty, are you checking that for me? If somebody could while I'm ranting, look at the top five receivers' pay. And to me, if they don't average out at least around 35 million a year, you paid that guy almost 10 million next more than the next spot. And I just don't
Uh,
understand that. So
I
what you
can
got the
I
top five?
I can tell you right now he broke the bank. I heard something that if Jamar Chase, if he does everything he's supposed to, even with the bonuses, I think the most he earns is 35.
You see what I'm
Ooh.
saying? You've almost paid 10 million over. And like I say, you've got a Super Bowl window that is open. You've got the quarterback where you need him at least for one more year. Because remember, contracts ain't nothing when you outplay them.
Hmm.
Charbonnet's kind of stuck in a position like, but he got 3 years, 51 million. It's not like you're not paying money. So, I just think you're asking for trouble by that precedent. Shots out, like we always say, hey, brother, get your money. Shots out to Njigba and everything that your agents did, but woo, I think that's going to come back to haunt him. What do you
It
think,
is, and
Dave?
a lot of talent left the building, man. A lot of talent left the building.
Well,
Kobe
Super
Bryant.
Bowls, Super Bowl teams get treated like well, actually, let's not say toxic. It's not good to be a Super Bowl team because people want what you got. But I still say you say a lot of left that I still think there's a lot left. You still got.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot left, but a lot left.
It did.
Mm.
It did.
Yeah,
It did.
yeah.
I think if anything, it hurts your depth. But when I'm looking at just the defense, I still see Leonard Williams, Jerron Reed, Murphy the second, DeMarcus Lawrence. Essentially, every single starter is back in that secondary, is aside from a strong safety. So but yes, the you NFL is a hurt sport. You lose a starter, you don't have quality depth. It is what it is.
And I
Uh,
do like that you brought up the salaries, how you pay 10 mil over that. So and that's the NFL's problem too. Like it started, like you said, it started with the quarterbacks.
yeah,
So
and I thought you.
that's a good take. That's a good
And
take.
and I thought they kind of had it slotted. Just like, if you're a starter and you're kind of good, you can get 20 mil, but if you're booty, you get 10 mil. The superstars get 40 and 50 mil. And now you got a
Mhm.
receiver making ass like you just messed up because like you said,
Yep. Yep.
everybody all the other receivers like got him.
They like yep.
Yeah, there's about five like you saw what he did? I
Yep.
want that. Monty, what you
Yep.
think they're gonna be back? Mark, you think they go back in the Super Bowl, or because obviously this contract ain't gonna hurt this year?
No, it's not gonna hurt this year. They I think they'll it was so hard to repeat. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think so.
Monty?
I don't.
No, I'm the same way.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what I'm gonna need to see from him for him to change my mind. I still just don't trust Sam Darnold. I don't. Time you got a quarterback. Anytime you got a quarterback seeing ghosts, I just don't know what he's got to do to prove to me that that won't happen again. But I don't know.
It's
Maybe
fair.
I might need to. I don't know. I just
Nah, that's fair. That's fair.
there's something about that where I just don't trust. Plus, you lose your Super Bowl MVP running back, and I know I'm biased, obviously, but I like Charbonnet, but I always like Walker a little bit more. I know that's a little backwards. I know people like Charbonnet more. I liked Walker. He just reason he was hurt so much is because he runs so hard and he's not big. But I don't think they'll be back.
Gotcha. All right, we all saw the East Regional second round loss to St. John's. Um, I'm gonna start with like I always talk about consistency. St. John's was 30-6. Uh, KU was 24-11. Records don't mean anything. Obviously, we all saw the upsets that were going on. But with how the big men finished their season, Tiller had 0 points. With how the big men finished their season, Bading and him combined for 10 rebounds. When we talk about consistency, Trey White had 4 points. When we
I still
talk
even touch
about,
on his
uh,
tourney run.
huh?
I don't. We can touch on it. We got a whole show about his tourney run because that was.
I don't think, like I said, I don't want to put I, Council and in his whole gross game, Trey White and only having 4 points at the end, and he got them at the end. None of that matters. When me and Amani talked, I was like, we fell for the fake excitement. We fell for looking at, man, they shot 30%, we shot 36%, we shot 44. Man, we out rebounded them by 8. And I told Amani, what I say? Were you watching that game? That whole game as a KU fan, my butt was getting whooped. I never felt like we were in it.
Nope.
I felt like you
Nope.
said about
Nope.
Peterson sometimes, like there was plenty of time. He had 15 shots in that game. I felt like he took 8 because there were so many lapses where he was just chilling. He was just chilling. He was just chilling. Nothing was going on. They were just passing the ball around, and that team was beating them up. The offensive rebounding they were getting in the first half of that at times was ridiculous. The defense that we played at times was just bad. Like, I felt like this is what like it getting back in that game hurt my feelings because I was like, well, this isn't what I expected. We're really gonna win this game backing into it. Like we're really just gonna fall into a win and then have to just get beat down later. I'm glad we lost. And like I told Amani, we never should have made that game close because for me watching it, we were down by 10 the whole game. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that gave us false hope. So I'm glad this team is over. I hope for what the roster looks like coming in. I think promises were made. Somebody reminded me today at work how good the recruiting class come in. So now I am quelled with. I do not think that he will retire. I think he'll at least
Not this
come
year.
back this year. But I think Bill Self needs a heavy dose of expectations and like, if I don't want to waste time with the numbers, but Flory and Tiller, though their last 6 games were deplorable for me, as for what I
Mm-hmm.
expected. I don't care about Flory's offense because I know his offense is gross. Tiller's 2 shots, stuff like that. I just can't have that. You know. So, what do you guys is obviously, Mark? You go ahead. Tell me your thoughts on that game and
18
the
points.
season if you want to mix that in.
18 points off 16 turnovers. Um, Gross to me, inexcusable that you know this team is going to press, and you telling me y'all can't break the press? You got you got it. You got the point guard. Why you got y'all? You They pressed them the entire game.
And the announcer
You
said,
knew
remember,
what
they
was
said
coming, and
they practiced for it.
They didn't stop. And you go in at half and you come back out and it's more the same. That's what really had me frustrated. I'm like, they're setting up to press y'all, and then you getting it is and I was like, y'all can't see it's okay. There it is again. There it is again. Oh, turnover. We don't know what to do, and it's just it's a that was a microcosm of the season for me. Like that was it. Like
Somebody
this
had
is
to say
what
it.
this is what we've actually been seeing the whole year.
Agree.
But there was flashes of a good game sprinkled in there. But that's what we saw the whole year. That's the real Jayhawks
Yep.
that we saw. So the Tiller situation, like you, like we old school dudes, like you too big for that. To no rebounds. They pushing you around. You too big for that. You're too big for that. So I like you said, I'm glad this one's over with. Um, I hear about the recruiting class coming in. Heard it's really good. They really I really hope that they go back to his big guy in the middle, like a
I love.
legit big guy in the middle, and I think that's what we were lacking. Well, I know that's what we were lacking now. So I don't know if Tiller and I know Flory's probably going to head for the NBA, but I don't. Tiller better stay. I think Flory's gone. I think Flory because the engine and he's wiry and he although it is gross, is wild. I think I think the NBA was like, oh, we got a spot for him here.
I'm gonna tell you why he's. I don't think he will. I'm gonna give you, unfortunately, a name that I love mixed in with the last name to explain it. Kenneth Fareed. I think Badinga's gonna measure 6'8". I think with what we know of him cracking backboards with his hook shot, and he's not quite. I forgot the African's name about 4 years ago who went to the Jazz. He was basically just Shaq. All he could do was dunk.
Udoka.
Udoka.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
you know, I, I just don't see it. Yes, it is Lob City in the NBA. Yes, going to a right team, he is that. Yes, Clint Capella is a thing. I don't think that it. Like, why do I want to be the 20th pick in the first round? Just because I'm gonna go to a nice team that I'm gonna get 5 points and be a rotational guy for, I think you should stay and really see. Because I I,
I,
I don't want to have to go to it, but I don't think he was an awful free throw shooter. I felt like 65%. Never mind. But that's up. That's up from 53% last year. So
And I'm with you. I hope he stays, but I just don't. I think he showed enough to that some NBA team is gonna bite it, or he's gonna want to bite and be like, oh yeah, I'll take that.
I
So
say
I
I say he stays.
yeah. You say you think he's gonna stay, or you
I think he
want him to
stays.
stay?
I
Okay,
think he stays.
okay.
Monty, what you got?
Um, Nothing much, just about the game. I mean, you guys kind of covered it. That's kind of what Kansas has been all season, and then we finally showed that we wanted to be there at the end of the game. And like Myrick said, they were talking about it on the broadcast, was talking about it the whole time. They were practicing how to break it, like they weren't doing anything they showed at practice.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the moment got too big and they forgot, they didn't go back to the basics. I don't know what it is, but at the end of the game they showed the intensity. They showed they want to be there. It was great end of the game with using the fouls, but you can't give up a contested layup to win the game. You
Yeah.
I know we had a long conversation about this on the phone. You can't do that to a team that's shooting 30%. You're gonna act like you're playing the prime KD Golden State Warriors, have everybody out on the 3-point line, and a dude who has 0 points,
0 points.
0 points in March Madness.
Walked it down.
I aim read to a team shooting 30% every day of the week. That's March.
Yeah.
Supposed to lose a game-winning 3-point shot.
Yeah.
You give up barely contested layup. That is practice. You go to any of these teams' practices across the nation, they practice contested layups every single day. So that's basically a wide open shot for him.
Yeah.
And how you lose the game.
That-
I never expected them to win the game, but to lose like that, I was very
Yeah.
very
The heartbreaker. All right, guys. We will be back at you guys sometimes next week. Our schedule's in flux because obviously we out here getting that money. You know, even Monty making racks on racks. He don't like showing it because I told him if you show you got money, they ask for money. But anyway, we're gonna be covering. We'll have a little more action all over the sports arena. You see how that's how you say it when you don't have anything picked. All over the sports arena, we're going to have things that we're talking about in all the leagues. But the main thing that we want our local people to stay hyped for is it is time to be royal. We don't have it on now. Everybody show. We ain't got our Royals gear on right now, but we will be having it on. So hopefully the Royals can take a step above 500. But everybody, I appreciate you guys chiming in. And you guys got anything as we go out?
No, I'm gonna finish up. Try to make it through this game. It's Houston and Illinois on right now, so I probably won't because I'm old. So
Yeah. You
read
should have
about it
dropped the unk
tomorrow.
on him. You've known him
Yeah,
long enough, Amani. He's known your whole
I'm
life. You should have dropped the unk on
yeah.
him. All
Hey,
right.
I'm right there. I catch myself dozing off watching these games. So I can't really say nothing.
They get you. They gets to you, man.
Cool.
I'm excited for that Arkansas Arizona game. That's
Yeah.
All right. So this has been the Real Sports Brothered, of course, still sponsored by Holy Smoke Barbecue over in KCK. Signing off. Holla.
Right. All right.